Well, we see you guys again because, we have another winter weather advisory now.
Second one of the week.
Second one of the week, second time you've seen us this week. You guys are probably sick of us. You've seen us a lot over the last couple
Yeah.
weeks. We're not sick of you guys. I mean, I posted earlier and somebody's like, well, I don't want to watch it. You guys are just kind of, hyping things up. We're not hyping anything. We're just trying to offer information. And if this is the way you want to get the information, we're here for you. That is really the theme of it. I will say this, the last couple weeks, Rick, have been somewhat humbling. You have seen what I have seen on TV, on streaming. The number of people that have turned to us in this active couple of weeks of weather is remarkable. The numbers on Tuesday were mind-blowing, how many people chose us. WDRB almost had as many people as the other stations combined, which I'll say it's crazy. I mean, we worked really hard to try to earn your trust, and we know that we're only as good as our last storm.
All right. So we got to keep moving on then, right?
Got to come up with a new one here. So welcome to tonight's WDRB Live here. What I want you to do is know this is Rick DeLuca. Rick works next side with me all the time. If you don't follow him, he is in the chat here, so you can follow to his page. Make sure you like his page. Let me give you a small little hint here. Mr. DeLuca has a goal. He's trying to get to 30,000 followers on Facebook. I think he can do it probably within a month, maybe quicker, if you guys get on it and head over there and like his page. So please
help me, please.
He's getting close. We all set goals in everything we do, and I know that's a goal that you want. So
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So if you guys are just joining in on the stream number one here, 649 people in on our streams, click the share button. Why share? Because you're probably not the only one that's interested in the topic we're going to discuss, which is a winter weather advisory tomorrow, which is, should I be worried? Which is, am I going to be driving in snow? Will I see thunder, lightning, like what we saw 2 days ago?
That was wild.
I still can't believe what we saw. If you would have told me we had those two storms, the one that dropped 15 inches in Seymour and Tuesday, and I had to choose one of those that was going to produce thunder snow, I think you know which one it would be.
Yeah, the one that produced 15. The funniest part was Bryce and I were in the back office, and we just hear, I'm gonna scream thunder snow, and it was.
Did you think I was kidding or?
No, we were. I mean, we obviously were back there checking radar, but with that kind of scream, we knew you weren't joking.
With that storm,
it was hilarious,
unbelievable. So we'll go through this, and by sharing the video, by the way, you're going to let your friends and family know. So there's 814 in here right now. Let's say 10 people follow you. 8,000 people are going to be notified. Let's say 100 people follow you. 80,000 people will be notified, and they may want to, they may not want to get the information, but at least we can get that information out there, and they can join in on the stream. So,
Mark, I think it's important also to kind of just give you the analogy here. We have TV, typical, 3.5 minutes where we talk, and
we call this linear, the linear side.
This is different. It's digital, and you know me, I love to compare it to restaurants. So the TV side is if you want to go to the drive-thru.
I want to hear this one.
And just get your burgers, your fries, and just be on your way. That's going to be the TV side. It's quick, it's condensed. You get 3 minutes, and we tell you the weather, what's happening now, future, and for the next 7 days. This one, we get to relax a little bit, kick our feet back. And this is like the restaurant where you sit down, get the little napkin out, you have your silverware.
Does the napkin match your pant color?
I don't know.
These are important things, man.
Sure.
Okay, keep going.
Well, no.
No, finish.
Okay. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so you're at the restaurant, you're sitting, you're relaxing, and it's more of a conversation where you can hang out for a little while, spend some time together. So TV, that's the drive-through. This is the sit-down restaurant where we're at right now. Should we get some linens for this table? Is that what you're telling me? Maybe nice little WDRB linens to have.
I don't know.
Napkins.
There was some ice cream. Maybe we can bring some ice cream out.
There was.
Bluebell, by the way, did bring some ice cream. This is a true story. I'm going to tell you because I'm a little bit disappointed. So Bluebell brings some ice cream out to WDRB for National Weather Person's Day. So we were at work. We came in today as normal, and I was, normally on National Weather Person's Day, Bluebell brings ice cream to the station.
Did you know when you woke up that it was National Weather Person's Day?
I did not.
I did not either. I woke up and I was like, ooh.
So when I found out, I'm like, that's weird. Bluebell didn't come and bring ice cream. So we got our dinner. We had to eat dinner quickly tonight because we knew we were going to do this stream. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to look in the freezer. And guess what was in the freezer? Bluebell ice cream, which means somebody knew that that Bluebell ice cream had arrived, Matthew 1, and didn't tell everybody else.
And what were the flavors? There was like a banana pudding.
Two-step cookie,
and
banana pudding, and vanilla.
Right.
But it had been sitting out for a little bit, so somebody did not show it the care that it needed. I still ate it. I still I
didn't try.
I still ate it.
I didn't. I know. Yeah, Mr. Ice Cream.
Of course, I ate that ice cream.
Mark would eat any ice cream.
I sat down there and I put a shovel in there and got started.
I did not. I was like, who knows who's been in there? What's been in there?
I've been in there.
So yeah. He's
so
the
thank you
one.
to Bluebell, by the way, for National Weather Person's Day, and thank you to everybody out there that wished that to us. Again, share the video. Let's start our discussion here. So, Mr. DeLuca, not everybody included in the winter weather advisory.
Nope.
Weather Service did have somewhat of a challenge on this one. We know that warm air is going to be trying to push in the mid-levels. The Weather Service chose Jefferson County. You're like Louisville, no, Jefferson County, Indiana. This would include Madison. The Weather Service chose Carroll, Trimble, and Henry County in Kentucky. Their challenge on this one was the warm surge and how strong it was going to be. And, you know, there's different philosophy on how to deal with these. Some of the philosophy is conservative. Some of the philosophy is throw a dart. They chose Jefferson, Trimble, Carroll, and Henry. It is indeed possible those counties may not necessarily need it, but you know, I think where they were at 2 p.m., I do get where they went on this advisory. I really don't have a problem. I think it could require tweaking, though.
It could, and that's kind of the case with many, if not all, winter weather advisories. But here is the thing. Let's say tomorrow, it's Friday, you have plans, you're traveling up to Cincinnati, then this is something you need to know, which is why, even if you're just here in Louisville, but let's say you have plans to go northeast, so you have friends and family who are coming down maybe from that direction, it would be a good idea to share this video, give them a heads up, or at least shoot them a text and say, hey, there could be some winter weather your way, maybe a little sleet, a little snow, perhaps some rain, depending on where you are. But yes, north and east of us, Mark, 4 counties under this winter weather advisory, begins at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So that's kind of the opening time frame, and it's through 5. But it looks like a lot of this will actually fall late morning, early afternoon between the two commutes.
Yeah, I don't know the 5 it's going to be necessary. And in Louisville, someone's going to say I'm not included, but we're going to actually discuss a scenario that could generate some lower end accumulation here in Louisville. So this again goes from Friday at 7 a.m. through Friday at 5 p.m. Around the area now, there isn't really anything to worry about. So I always like to say, is this something that you're going to be dealing with tonight? Well, there's the storm. And I think you can get a better sense of it when you look at it embedded in the jet stream from this view. We still have a large high pressure out to the west. And I know what people are probably thinking is, well, isn't that what grabbed the cold air from the North Pole and pulled it in our direction? It's true. However, the high was anchored much further west. It was over basically Cal and basically parts of the Pacific. And what's different is that high pressure is going to start edging towards us. As it does, it's going to warm us. So this, I think, is fair to say in this spell, in this period of the Ohio freezing, and all that we have dealt with here, this is probably, for this period of cold, this weekend's going to be it.
Right. And if you're looking for some melting of the snow and the ice and you're tired of walking on it, slipping on it, dealing with it, looking at whatever it is, there's going to be some melting going on. Big pattern flip on the way. But this is the last chance that you have, at least for the short term, to see some...
Is that what you're going to say?
No, I was just going to say this the snow showers. But sledding too, I mean...
Are you going to take Mia this weekend? You've got one last chance.
I don't know. It's so hard. I'd have to put like a helmet on her. If she goes down, if I go down, I'd have to wrap myself in maybe bubble wrap because it just hurts.
You are accident prone too.
I am, and it hurts. Like, I was just walking on I took out the recycling last night, and maybe it kind of tipped over. Okay, it tipped over.
Did you tip over or the recycling?
It tipped over just because I was trying to go down the driveway through the grooves, and I caught it.
Oh, that's good.
Luckily,
that's good.
But
it's not skill you normally have.
I know. A little, my cat-like reflexes. Coordination is, not my top one skill. But I did manage to stop it, but it was like I put my hand down. I was like, it's rock solid.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't think I want to be sledding in that, to be honest.
Okay, fair. So I jumped the gun.
I don't trust myself. How's that for an
jumped
answer?
the gun on that. So he was really saying it's our last chance of snow, and I interjected interjectedly.
They both start with S.
They do. That doesn't mean anything.
And they're both 4-letter words.
Moving on, 25 degrees here with a south wind at 7 means a wind chill of 17. Here's a couple things I think is important to note. It's below freezing, and you're like, well, Mark, I watched you earlier tonight, and it was 23, and then it was 24. The sun's already set. The temperature is now 25. This is something that's important, Rick. If we're just to look at this and say, it's cold, it's going to snow, the temperatures will go down overnight, you're missing the whole story here.
Right.
When we have southerly winds in our area, it warms, and it warms up there, and that's the biggest deal out of this. I think what people learn, a lot of people, when we talked about sleep contamination about 10 days ago, you saw what's the norm for Louisville. When data shows southerly flow aloft, it always warms.
Mm-hmm.
And it really doesn't matter if the computer models are saying it's not going to, it always warms.
Right. And that line of where you see that split between frozen liquid isn't always exactly, in fact, usually it's not exactly where the models are showing.
And so what we do is, as meteorologists, we then adaptively make the adjustments that need to be made to produce a conceptual model that we think is going to happen. And that's why our forecasts sometimes are different. We call it being on an island, but you know, being on an island is not what we care about. We care about getting it right. So Elizabethtown's also 25. I think another thing it's important to notice, dew points are somewhat low, Rick, but they're not near as low as they were on Tuesday when we got those bursts. And that means we can't evaporatively cool this column as much as we did last time.
That's a good point.
So I think that's worth noting. Looking at Corydon right now, your temp 25, west wind at 6 miles an hour, and we'll close it out. Seymour, I'm curious on this one. At 22, actually, it's not that bad. The wind chill's 14.
Do you see the grass?
I know.
Was someone doing donuts in Seymour?
I don't know. That in the left there, I think that's actually normally a parking lot. Remember?
I think it's grass.
Is it?
It's grass.
Oh, you're right.
Someone naughty.
Someone's having too much fun.
Little naughty people up there. And that's definitely grass.
You're right, actually, now that I think about that.
Because I used that during the summer, during the drought. It's like that was my gauge of how things look. So someone did a little off-roading. Shame.
And this is an interesting one. I don't know if you actually saw what I put in my show today, a graphic I haven't put in a while. Did you see?
Alaska temps?
No. U.S. Drought Monitor.
Oh, yeah.
So we are now in abnormally dry. And I think this is going to come as a real surprise to a lot of people. How can we be abnormally dry if it snowed a foot in parts of the area? You had basically, whether it's a foot of snow or snow sleet, the same amount of liquids in there. But drought is not measured by what's sitting above the ground. That never made into the soil. So there's an inch of liquid right now waiting to melt. But some have asked me this, Rick, is this going to end in flooding?
That's a good question.
And I think it's a fair question, and I want to touch on this. Yes, there's an inch of liquid sitting above the ground, but remember, we're also abnormally dry. Can we handle an inch of liquid going into the Ohio River? We get an inch of rain all the time in the summer, so that's not a big deal. Now let's say we accelerated the melt, and let's say we saw heavy rain next week. That would then raise the concern. There are pieces of data that show some heavier rain. It's a GFS. It's not one of the reliable weather models. The more reliable Euro doesn't show it as a big deal. But what we don't know necessarily is how the ice will get dealt with in the Ohio.
Yeah.
The only way that could affect it is if it blocked. I don't know that we could block the Ohio, get an ice jam in the Ohio.
That would be, yeah.
I don't think it's possible. So our dew points are not ultra low, meaning when the precipitation starts, if it's super low, that up there cools. If that up there cools, it can overcome that warm surge in a brief scenario. It's not ultra dry, so that warm push is going to try to move us towards either sleet or a rain-snow mix. That is the most likely scenario. It's interesting, Rick, when you look around our region, we're cold, but look at that difference.
Sharp contrast.
I mean, it's 65 in Dallas.
That's crazy.
Louisville, Kentucky is colder than Des Moines, Iowa, is colder than Chicago, is colder than Wichita. Let's actually take this out further. 25 in Louisville is colder than the Mile High City in Denver at 54. 25 in Louisville is 24 degrees colder than Billings, Montana. 25 in Louisville is a colder air temperature than Edmonton, Canada. And 25 in Louisville is 16 degrees colder than the air temperature right now in Juneau, Alaska. Rick, if you want warmer weather, you got to get a flight and go to Alaska.
I think I'll just wait.
Isn't that weird?
It's weird, but I'm just hoping bring that over this way, which it will. I mean, it's the fact that it's close to 60 in Billings.
Too.
Yeah, you can see the actual rotation there where it's around 1 in Big Trout Lake, which is southern Hudson Bay.
What's to the right of that?
Hudson Bay? Oh no, I'm not again.
What are you talking about?
I tried that once before.
What are you talking about, man?
The pronunciation.
I was just asking what the temp. Where is that? With that -2?
It's -2 there with the one that starts with K.
What does that mean? What are you talking about?
I can't pronounce that. I couldn't spell that. You know how you spell that?
I can see how you spell it, but what
Wrong every time. There's no way.
let's hear it.
I don't know.
Dude, you do this for a living, man.
I know. And
You're a professional.
I know well
You
enough.
ask people to come over to your page and follow you, and you're not even willing to mention
If anyone in this stream can pronounce that, more power to you.
It's Kujarapic. I don't know. I have no clue.
Okay, I was like, dude, I need to fact check you.
You know what they say. You got to own it.
You did own it. I give you credit there.
All right, we're moving on. When we look at advanced track in our area, Rick DeLuca, let's give you this. We're going to show top right part of the screen. There's the time.
I can pronounce all these.
So let's go through this, Rick. And I want you to spend some time on this because people are going to ask two things. Time, what's it look like?
And that's important, especially considering it's Friday. Now, last time we had a winter weather advisory, it was because we had impacts during the evening commute. And when you have so many people getting out on the roads, which were very cold, they went downhill quickly. So let me walk you through this scenario. First, note temperatures. We're going to start to rise through the 20s before the sun comes up tomorrow. 7 o'clock hitting the roads, you are in good shape. But things quickly start to develop. By 8 to 9, we see that mixture. North and east, it's pure snow. But rain, sleet, and also snow. A mixture of all the three will come down. And Louisville's going to be right on the line of some sleet, snow, and also some rain showers, which means we are in play for all that around 9 o'clock. Where Mark's highlighting the yellow, that's going to be more sleet. So southwest, more sleet. Northwest, you're looking at a little more snow. That means areas like Madison through, let's say, the North Vernon area into Carrollton. That's where the snow is a little more likely. And this won't be just that light snow. There's going to be bursts in there or snow squalls, which are short, intense areas of snow. They don't last hours, but about a half hour to 45 minutes. And inside those snow bursts, for an hour, conditions can go downhill fast, where the roads become covered, visibilities drop, and you end up dealing with slick spots. So that's something to be concerned about. At 11 o'clock, we still have snow showers. And then by the afternoon, these start to go away around 3, 4 p.m., which, you know, I would say intensity is going to be important tomorrow.
I agree with that.
To really cover those roads. If you're out in one of those snow bursts, then you'll have some issues, but things should quickly improve.
I agree.
Once they stop, and that's going to be an important aspect.
Did you get any of the flurries or that light snow for like? I got it for like 15 minutes.
I didn't today, actually.
So I got it for like 15 minutes in my house. It covered my driveway. It was nothing. It was virtually nothing, but it speaks to every single flake is actually sticking right now because the pavement's so cold.
Yeah.
But Rick, this is not for Louisville, so.
We're on the edge of this. It's really
somebody asked, is JCPS going to go to school? I don't know what they're going to decide, but what I can tell you is it's lower impact, and it is certainly not what we saw on Tuesday. Now, this interests me. You're like, well, the advisory is canceled at 5. We have seen this so many times. Rick, what a surprise. The data shows snow showers developing on Friday night. Now, Rick, you have heard me say this so many times. Arctic air always pays with light snow or snow showers. And Rick, that's exactly what we see tomorrow night.
You said that 1,000 times, but think back to Saturday.
I know.
It was the same exact scenario. It actually snowed a lot of the day. It was a really light snow, but there was flakes coming down, like you said, a vast majority, which goes to show if it happened once, it's probably going to happen again.
So that's one of the things I think you should be aware. Look, obviously it's not in a high impact time, but after 10 p.m. tomorrow, data shows Arctic air surging into our area, and it does show a period of light snow and snow showers. And it is Arctic air. It drops to 18 by Saturday morning with a wind chill of 2. So it is going to feel cold. And you look at Frankfurt at 4 below 0, and that's obviously going to be cold. So let's look at the model data here. Rick, this is the brand new HRRR that just rolled in. I'm going to actually take this out of play mode because I want to show this in periods so that I think this is really important. I'll start with the HRRR. So we're going to go through 5 p.m. tomorrow, which covers the initial. And in the initial, it shows you have to go to Cincinnati.
Right.
Now, somebody might be saying, Mark, isn't this the same computer model that on Tuesday showed Louisville getting 0 snow and we got 0.9? Yes. This is a great computer model. It is not an infallible computer model. So it does have more warm air surging, does not show a ton of snow in our area, but watch from 5 p.m. on Friday through Saturday morning. It shows a coating of snow occurring. And I am impressed that the HRRR has that. It did the same thing on Saturday, if you recall.
I do.
Remember, we showed you the data, which literally looked like nothing.
Yeah.
And then we had to show you the actual snow accumulation because it did indicate that. Rick, I'm going to give you the same exercise. Let's do advanced track for our area. We're going to go through 5 p.m. tomorrow, and then we'll cover the rest of it.
Okay. See, this makes me feel good because it is a very similar look to what the HRRR has. And agreement is always a good thing because the more people on board, the more computer models we have saying this looks right, the more confidence that we have moving forward. Again, this is not going to be a big deal, if any deal, for Louisville. It's a problem north and east of us. So that does mean Madison, Seymour, Frankfort, and that's where you see that light coating of snow, couple tenths of an inch up there possible. And again, this is based on a 10-to-1 ratio, which will probably be pretty close to that. But again, it still shows 0. It shows 0 in Louisville, which means if you were listening here in Louisville, that's an important fact to take home.
And Rick, let's go through the night. Let's bring in now. That is interesting. Friday night into Saturday. It almost looks like Advanced Track picked up the phone and said, hey, this is Advanced Track. Yeah, can I speak to HRRR, please? Hey, HRRR, it's Advanced Track. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, long time no see. How everything's going? It's great. Yes, my family's great. Good to talk to you. Hey, how much snow do you have for Friday night into Saturday? Okay, great. I've got the same thing. That literally is what it looks like. It looks like the exact same out there.
And actually,
you like that impromptu
that
conversation?
was pretty good. I mean,
I haven't been working on that. That was off the cuff.
That was I could tell. That was very good.
I appreciate that.
I'm just impressed that you have them in your contacts.
Of course I do, man. Of course I do.
You got to share those with me.
I can't. So we're going to do the same.
So what you're kind of saying here is that if you want to see snow in Louisville, you have a better chance overnight than during the day Friday.
Bingo. Okay.
Okay.
So when we look at the data we're going to look at the NAM computer model. We're going to take the NAM computer model out through about 7. So the NAM, what we can see is a little more robust in Louisville. Not that it is significant, but it's a little more robust. It shows 1/4 of an inch. Now, here's the thing. I think if that falls Louisville, I think we're talking about 1/4 of an inch of some snow rain mix. So I think that it would negate some of the impact, but can you still get an impact? It's not impossible. Again, showing you what the NAM indicates, not what we're showing you. It also biases more towards Cincinnati, more towards Ohio, and shows about up to an inch in our northeast counties. From here, I want to do the same exercise. Does it bring anything in on Friday night? It also shows about 1/10 of an inch, which what you're going to start to hear is almost every model shows the exact same thing. And Rick, I'm going to give you the last one, which is the European.
Okay.
This one shows a little more. Not a ton, but a little more.
Yeah. I mean, 1.5 in Madison and 1.6 in Frankfort. Definitely of the models, this is the higher end of them. Louisville showing 0.2. Again, don't take the numbers from this one. It's important to take the concept.
So I'm going to back it up, by the way, to 5 p.m. so you've got that in there so we can kind of see the same concept.
Wow. Okay. So by 5. So this is the initial wave. We're trying to account for the wave that comes in during the day with the front and then the actual cold surge, which follows later in the evening and overnight. Once again, the numbers are higher. It shows snow in Louisville, but does have that cutoff in northeastern parts of our area where there's snow there and there's no snow southwest. But then you add on the overnight,
it still shows a 10.
It's showing 1/10 of an inch.
Isn't that incredible?
That's insane.
They're all showing it. I mean, here's the thing. If you look at what we would refer to as simulated reflectivity, basically what's the radar going to look like? It shows absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yet every single model we just showed you.
The QPF is picking up. So that's...
So what we're going to show you now from here is our forecast. I know that's probably the reason you're here, so let's jump into this. This is through Friday night, and I want to be clear on this. What this means is this includes what occurs tomorrow night. Do I think Louisville is going to get an inch? I don't. I just didn't want to get hyper small on it. But for Louisville, for really the western half of our area, it's probably up to 1/2 inch. You can see as we go to our northeastern counties, you're up to an inch. Now, we do have that up to 2 fringing our northeast counties. Why? In case there's bursts. So let's just say, as Rick noted, there could be some bursts. A couple locations in our northeast counties could catch maybe an inch and a half or two, but it does appear you maybe have to head out of our area to get more likely. Vivi, Warsaw, heading towards Florence, and then into Cincinnati.
Right. And that's kind of like we alluded to. Cincinnati plans tomorrow, in or out. It's something you want to pay more attention to. But here in Louisville, it's far less of a concern. Far less. I mean, we might mix with a little bit of snow, but if that warm air and advection keeps going, we may see more of a sleet rain mixture.
I mean,
And
the
so
amounts are just so low.
it's just
too.
it's so low. And the flakes, once again, because we're so close, they're going to be the big ones. The fat flakes, that's if we can get some. I'm looking at the HRRR.
QPF is so low. The amount of precipitation is so low in the data.
And this literally has parts of Jefferson County seeing nothing.
I'm not saying that
During the day, not the overnight.
And here's the thing, though. This, again, is a weather model that just, I hate to say it, but it whiffed.
Yeah.
Completely whiffed on Tuesday.
The
and
trust
if
is-
you remember during our video, we were somewhat nervous because we liked the model.
Right. Then the NAM Nest does show, indeed, a good shot for that wintry mix.
So I think that that's actually, since, if you were to objectively look back, the NAM's probably been the king weather model here since this cold surge occurred. And when I say that, I mean to even include the big snow.
Mhm.
The NAM was the only one that called this.
Yeah.
And the NAM has been the superior model. Now, is the NAM the superior model in everything? No, I say this a lot. Rick uses the analogy of cooking. I've worked on cars since I was like 16 years old, so for about 10 years now. And I know that there's different tools for different situations. Sometimes you need a 6 millimeter, sometimes you need an 8, sometimes you need a 1/4 inch socket, sometimes you need a half, sometimes you need a torque wrench for the lower, higher, whatever it happens to be. But why am I talking about this? Because you need the right tool for the right situation. The NAM has just been a good weather model here as of late, and shown some real skill here, surprisingly, over the last week. So that is what we're thinking in terms of snow. I want to show the map one more time, and I just want to call some cities before we go into your questions. Somebody noted that I did say 10 years after I was 16. So anyways, up to one includes, remember, this includes tomorrow night. This is not just during the day. If you're asking during the day, Hardinsburg gets nothing. But I'm going to include the night and say up to an inch. Campbellsville, Greensburg, Munfordville. I'm going to include E-Town, Radcliffe, West Point, Fort Knox, Hardinsburg, Brandenburg. I'm going to include you in the Mount Washington and Shepherdsville area. In transparency, you're probably under a half an inch. I'm going to include Nelson County, so Bardstown. I'm going to include Springfield, Kentucky, Taylorsville, Frankfort, Shelbyville, Simpsonville. I'm going to include all of Metro Louisville and up to one, but again, in transparency, I think it's probably under a half. I'm going to include Corydon through English and Paoli, North Vernon. I'm going to put you on the edge of that up to 2, but remember, it's up to, which is a range. I'm going to include Bedford, Indiana, Seymour. I'm going to include Salem, Scottsburg, Clarksville, Jeff, New Albany. I'm going to include you in Carrollton. Actually, let me take back Carrollton. Bedford, Kentucky, Madison. I'm going to include you in the up to 1, and then I'm going to go up to 2 as we go towards around Madison. These numbers are obviously close. The only reason that there's a difference in the up to 2 is we just wanted to account for if there's a burst, and a burst could cause a couple locations to get higher. This is not a high-end event. This is not. So that's what we want to mention. The advisory starts at 7 a.m., goes through 5 p.m. tomorrow. So number one here, we've now gotten to the analysis portion of the video ending. We always ask you if you guys appreciate the longer form weathers here. Throw some thumbs up. I'm going to open my video so I can see those flying across the screen. We're going to see if you guys enjoy it. Share the video if you have friends or family, because here's the thing. They can just move the timeline along and come to anywhere they want. There we go. Starting to see the hearts and the thumbs up. It's interesting. A lot of people love these long form videos.
You got quite a few there.
We do have a bunch in there. I'm going to throw one in there too.
For good measure.
Now we're going to go into the Q&A portion. The question and answer part of these videos is also something that I think Mr. DeLuca is one of his favorite parts, because you're not talking to a screen only, Rick. You're actually getting people's questions and feedback.
Yeah, and I think it's part of just who I am. I want to help, and I feel like sometimes it's asking directly one-on-one. When you give a forecast, you feel like you're trying to generalize things, but this is like, hey, I have this at this time, and I'm going this location. So it's like a catered forecast specifically for you. So yeah, do like this part. And with that, Mark, if you want me to start out bringing the questions in.
Let's start doing questions here.
All right. First off, everyone who's saying thank you in terms of National Weather Person's Day, we appreciate your support. We wouldn't be here without you. So honestly, we should have a day for you too.
It is weird, like how this is like a weird popularity contest in a sense. I mean, and the hardest part about what we do is, yeah, I'll be clear. The negativity is something it's hard to tune out sometimes. You know, I would say this to you guys. Over the years, what we have seen is that the kind people have started to realize that the negative people were being louder. And I think they've made the positive people have made a concerted effort to say, I don't want your negativity. And we want to make sure that Mark and Rick and Jude and Bryce and Matthew really know how much they're appreciated. And I would say for us, I think I speak for my whole weather team and maybe even the enterprise, that when you guys tell us you support us, it means a lot to us. We appreciate it. We work in a ratings business, which means our success is known or not known. If you know, we don't do well, it's hard. And I'll throw a little story in here before this first question. I arrived in Louisville in 2004. First time we had severe weather in 2004. This is a true story. A lot of you know who Tom Wills and John Belsky are. There's some real legends of Louisville weather. First time we did a severe weather cut-in at WDRB, I was on the air and we had a 0.4 rating. Belsky and Tom Wills at WAVE had a 15.1 rating.
Ooh.
And I looked at the ratings and I was like, even if we do the job better, how's anybody ever going to know? There's not enough people. And what I learned over the years is that you earn viewers' trust one storm at a time. And so if you ever notice, for us, we feel that we're only as good as our last forecast. Yeah, we may have gotten 2004 right. We may have got it right in 2012. But if we don't get it right this time, we then can fracture that trust, and you may then go somewhere else. Number two, if we do a really good job, and let's say you watch one of the other stations, you may say, you know what? I just happened to watch Rick DeLuca and Mark Weinberg for a little while, and I kind of like them. And they did a good job. So everything we do is a tryout and a test for you. And I think it's what motivates us here. We never, ever, ever want to let you down. So we always, always, always put this massive effort into trying to get it right. So, Rick, I'm going to ask you this question. First one is from Bedford.
Okay.
And Bedford is asking, are we going to get freezing rain out of this one?
Okay.
Bedford. There's two Bedfords, so.
Right. Bedford, Lawrence County, and then the other Bedford, what is that in?
Bedford, Kentucky,
Trimble County. That's right. So, first off, hopefully you can answer for me. Which Bedford?
Just say them both. I mean, we can write, that's what I normally do.
Okay, that's actually not a bad
idea.
Right,
because that way you answer the question either way.
So I would say if the Lawrence County Bedford may actually see, let me just double check some of this, may see more of that wintry mix. Whereas Bedford, Trimble County, you'll be closer to that snow and maybe some of those snow bursts. So I would say more of a wintry mix if you're in Lawrence County in Indiana. The other Bedford, which is in Kentucky, probably more of a sleet snow scenario, which includes those bursts. So there's both Bedfords, all wrapped into one pretty little package.
And by the way, I'm going to look at the sounding just because I want to see if any freezing rain actually could occur, only because it is below freezing at the surface. So I just think I want to actually see what the sounding above the ground shows, how significant the warm layer is, because that can tell us sleet versus freezing rain. Unfortunately, there is a signal that there could be a little freezing rain in that mixed zone.
Yeah.
So we cannot rule that out in Bedford, Kentucky. In Bedford, Indiana, the warm surge may just be a little bit too much there. So that is not out of the realm of possibility to get a brief burst of freezing rain there. So let's see here. Angela is saying, I'm on my wife's phone. I love you guys. I'm a carpenter. Please work on the weather. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you grabbing her phone and having a little fun with us. And I think I'm sensing a lot of people are fatigued with the cold.
Yeah, it's fun for a while, but at some point, actually, the cold isn't fun. It's fun to see the snow for a little while, but then it's not so fun. And I feel like this next shot of cold may put people over the edge because it's just one more punch to the gut.
It is the last gut punch.
But if you just know inside that if you make it through this next one, there's hope, there's light, there's warmth at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully that can give you enough motivation just to hang in there for a couple more days. Once we get through this first half of the weekend, we
It's
start
way
to
better.
turn. Yeah, it
And it's
looks,
going to happen quickly.
and we're going to see a lot of melting, a lot of thawing, and the snow and the ice, while it is thick in lots of the area, it's got a timeline now.
Its
days.
expiration date is
Yeah,
there.
it has days and counting now.
Sandy just said, I just tuned in. Can you show the snow map again? That's the beauty of the lives. Not only can we, let's do it here. I'm going to put us in the lower part of the screen so you can see the whole thing. So you can pick out your town, Sandy. You can get the sense there of what to expect. One thing I would remind you is, remember, this is what occurs in the first wave tomorrow morning, which some may not get, and then it also includes what occurs tomorrow night. So I would just ask you and remind you, as you look at that, consider that that includes both here. Anita, Rick, I'll throw this one to you,
Sure.
is asking out of Paoli, Indiana, what to expect in Paoli.
So in Paoli, Indiana, as you can see on the map here, you could see under an inch of snow. That takes into account what happens Friday night, which I think is a very important note. During the day, you could see more of some mixed showers in Paoli. Initially, temperatures are below freezing. So could there be a little bit of freezing rain or drizzle? The answer is there could. And I know that kind of is an unnerving thing when you have the opportunity for that. Pavement temperatures are cold. You will probably see falling from the sky more of that mixture of rain, which could freeze, or then just some sleet, and then perhaps some plain old rain on the backside, or even some snow flurries as that cold air wraps around on the backside of the system. But once again, it's going to be a southwest, northwest orientation. The farther northwest you are, the more frozen. Southwest, more liquid.
Northeast, you mean?
Northeast. What did I say?
South, northwest. I do it all the time.
I definitely, yeah.
You got that from me.
Listen, Cardinals. All right, so Northeast, excuse me on that one. Sometimes you just don't even realize what you're saying.
I know, that's why I just mentioned it. Only
yeah, no, I appreciate that. Otherwise,
you better do that to me when I make
know.
that same mistake, because I need that.
So yeah, Northeast to Southwest, there will be vast differences depending on where you are.
Robert Edwards is joining us from YouTube. He says, do Facebook engagements count as ratings? I don't get to watch regular TV anymore. So it's a really fair question. So we have sponsors for what we do in the streaming space, and what I would say is that they are very much appreciated. The streaming space, look, we do this for a living. We are transparent about that. If we don't get your support, the lights turn off. Studio C doesn't exist. So the fact that you guys support us has been great, because we've attracted sponsors into what we do in the streaming space. We need you still to watch us on TV. It's very important. But look, we're going to tell you we appreciate your support everywhere. And since we now have sponsors for the stream, it means that we can keep the lights on. And you know, if there's people out there that want to be part of what we do here, obviously you can reach out to the WDRB sales team. But this is now a very, very big part of what we do. So yeah, you know, your support here on YouTube is definitely appreciated. What time will this hit? I'll throw that one to you. That one's coming from Britt Ross, Rick. Actually, you know what? We probably need to know a little bit more info, but I think we can. I'm just going to say 7 to 9.
Yeah.
Depending on your location. Quicker north, slower south.
Yes.
So that one, because we didn't know. This one I'm going to throw to you, Rick. Sonia is asking about Valley Station in the morning.
Valley Station in the morning. Okay, so Sonia, let's get through the morning. Looking at this, let's say around 10-ish would be your start time for maybe some light freezing rain, more likely some sleet as well around, let's say that's 11 o'clock, and then midday rain, and then temperatures warm. So as temperatures go up throughout the day, then you may get some plain old rain that doesn't freeze on contact. But it does look like once we get past noon, this could end with a little bit of light snow or some snow showers. And that could cover everything up and just kind of be like the icing on top. So that would be light in nature. And again, this is late morning, early afternoon. This is not going to be at the height of the morning or the evening commute. This is going to be maybe you're running out to grab something for lunch and you end up dealing with some of this.
One thing I think we also need to be a little bit careful of is, even if this goes into rain in Louisville, the pavement temperatures are really cold. So it is conceivable that it could actually still freeze on contact. We've seen where technically it wasn't falling as freezing rain. You're like, well, how do you know that? Because it didn't freeze on the tree limbs, but it still froze on the very, very cold pavement. So don't underestimate if you're seeing rain out there. It could still have an impact. Could this glaze or create a minor icing situation? Truthfully, it's not actually out of the realm of possibility. and to get a little glaze of ice.
No, the temperatures. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out
Really,
what
from
time.
Paoli through Louisville is that area where I think if we get freezing rain on that edge there,
There's a window.
there is a window.
There's a window in the morning, and it doesn't look like we really make it above freezing until, at least here in Louisville, until around 11 o'clock.
But it's not a ton,
It's
and
not
that's
a
a
ton.
positive. But we still
We
want to
know-
mention it doesn't take much.
Right. It
Freezing
ju-
rain's toxic.
So just keep that in mind, that there is the potential out there, and freezing rain can be deceiving because you're out there and you feel drops and you're
I
thinking
know.
it's just plain old rain. But like Mark mentioned, it's been so cold, the pavement's so cold that this may end up creating some icy spots for you.
So Kentucky Sweetness joining us on YouTube is saying Meade County impact for schools. So in Meade County, the impact would be low. Is it 0? There is a possibility of some very, very, very light freezing rain in there, maybe some sleet. I think that would be the preferred in the morning. And then at night, we would obviously watch for that potential for some light snow. Not a lot, but enough certainly to coat the ground. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to get a very, very, very low end, but it could be a very low end of sleet or freezing rain out of Meade County. So it's a good question. Rick, you got anything you see?
Let's see. Amanda just came in. She said, "Just got on. Can you show the radar again?"
Future radar, we can absolutely do that.
So we can
Let
do.
me
You want
get
to do
over to
future radar
that.
because right now, aside from a flurry, there's really nothing that's going to fall. It's tomorrow that you need to be concerned there. So
I'm going to bring that in for you, Rick, so you can
Okay,
walk us
perfect.
through
So,
that again.
again, timing, and I know timing out your Friday is going to be critical because you want to get your weekend started here. It's right around the corner. 7 a.m. we're dry. Pretty quickly around 8 is when we get that wintry mix moving in. More snow to the northeast. I got it this time.
You did actually get it.
I tried extra.
I was waiting.
And then southwest, it's more of that mix. Now, keep in mind, look at those temperatures. There are locations north of I-64 that are below freezing. It's also west of I-65. There's going to be a little corridor for an hour or so, maybe 2, that we may have some freezing rain, freezing drizzle in our northwestern counties. So watch out for the glaze. Otherwise, it's maybe sleet, snow showers. And I would say more on the snow side as you travel toward areas like Madison, through Newcastle into the Carrollton area. So that's where you're looking at that snow sleet combination. And then snow showers and those mixed showers continue to move south as the day wears on. By 1 o'clock, most of this is out of our area. And then we transition over to some snow showers and maybe even some light snow with the Arctic surge that arrives later Friday evening and overnight. And if you were out and about this Saturday, you know the kind of snow that I'm referring to. It was kind of that light, constant, just almost picturesque, like out of a movie little snow.
I know.
But it was pretty to look at. Can cause slick spots. It's going to be a cold air advection, and cold air is very dense, and that dense air creates lift. And usually every single time, no matter what computer models show, we get snow. But this time, they're actually showing some slim accumulations, which is
For tomorrow night?
which is pretty
Yeah, I
impressive.
know.
The fact that we have the QPF on there.
I know. Somebody's asking what pink means. Does that mean freezing rain? It could mean freezing rain or sleet. In this case, my opinion is actually freezing rain, only because I think that we don't have a snow growth zone on the lighter precipitation tomorrow, which means it would, if it fell, it would be falling as liquid, and regardless of the column in the atmosphere, without a snow growth zone, it would likely be freezing rain. So that is something that we certainly are watching for. What day will the melting begin? I'll take that question. That one coming in from Kathy. So I think Sunday will start it in the afternoon. We'll freeze again on Monday morning, continue it Monday afternoon, but it does look like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday should do work on trying to get this out. Now, a couple things I want to remind you is if you have a metal roof, normally what happens is it starts to slide at some point. Be really careful. That can create what looks like an arc of ice coming off the roof. When, it's not if, when that lets go, it can be hundreds of pounds. And if you're under it, it can kill you. Do not go anywhere near that if you see that arc of ice coming off, in particular a metal roof. But the sleet, where it's like that hard ice that's sitting on all of our front lawns, is going to be much, much harder to melt than, let's say, something like the fluffy snow, which would melt more quickly. So Louisville's got that ice, that hard sleet out there, so it's going to take some time for that to kind of get out of here. So another question coming off YouTube, Rick. Somebody, the snow globes. When we get that tomorrow night, it would be snow
There,
globes.
yeah, snow globe. That's your. I'm just looking at pavement temperatures too, and they're between 25 and 28, which is
Cold.
just cold, 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 cold.
Another question. This one's coming in from Oldham County. I'm going to take this one. You can gear up for another question here in a moment, Rick. Julie's saying, do you think Oldham County will be included in the winter weather advisory? So the Weather Service would have to issue the advisory for a chunk of our area for the freezing drizzle or the light stuff. Right now, it doesn't show that they're not showing they're inclined to do that. What I will also tell you is we have no way to forecast what the Weather Service will decide. And what I say, when I say that, I mean it. There are times where they issue advisories where we don't agree. There's times where we agree. There's times where they don't issue and we think they should. And so, forecasting the weather is certainly within our skill set. Forecasting what somebody else is going to do is simply impossible. So it's fair and we understand why, but we simply cannot say whether they would issue an advisory.
Oh, I have a question here. Let's see. I'm getting actually a number of questions. Let's see. Crystal Jackson just joined. Did we mention anything about Hardin County or Elizabethtown? Yes, we are certainly watching you, Crystal. I'm going to go through just some of the new data just to make sure I can give you some.
And I'm going to put up that snow map, Rick, as well. So
okay, people have been asking for that as well. Perfect. You read my mind there, Mr. Weinberg.
It's not like we haven't worked together for a year or two.
Yeah, you're just like 10 years after you working on cars.
What are you talking about? It's been 10 years since 10 years since I was 16.
So in Elizabethtown, it's going to start later just because of your orientation. You're located farther down to the south, but it does look like around 10 to 11, you get that wintry mix. Could there be some freezing rain? Let me just look there. There could be a thin glaze. It's a little more likely north of you. So I would say more of that sleet rain combination. And then as temperatures go above freezing, which they will pretty quickly because you're south and that southwest wind gets you first, they would quickly go over to maybe sleet, some plain old rain. If there's going to be snow, the better opportunity for that is going to be northeast, but you could maybe see a couple big fat wet flakes come down if the intensity's there, if it comes down heavy enough. Otherwise, that wintry mix, the road should be in good shape. I'm not overly concerned about roads getting snow covered in E-Town. And again, this is around midday. It's not going to be during the morning. It's not going to be during the afternoon. But if you're in E-Town driving in and out of town midday, you could see that wintry mix. Take it slow, but the road should be okay. Here's the thing. It's just, I hate, it's tough because it's so cold in the pavement.
That makes me a little nervous.
That I don't, yeah, exactly.
There's also a ridiculous amount of salt on the roads right now.
There's so much salt. And that's the thing. It's trying to balance all these factors into a forecast, take into account what's already on the ground, how much salt. It's a very, very, it seems minor, but it can make a huge difference. When those main roads will be good, but maybe the back roads get slick.
And I think I speak for you as well on this. We always get nervous because we don't want something bad to happen to anybody.
That's true.
And so there is always a sense of caution that we try to urge. For instance, if you see something on the ground tomorrow that looks shiny, assume it's frozen. If you see rain hitting the top of your car, be careful. It may not be rain.
Right. Do you know what Mike Marshall says?
Is Mike? He actually, somebody said it.
They said
here. I'm going to show you,
phrase?
Rick. Hold on. Where is this? If it's shiny, I can't find it now.
No.
If it's shiny,
watch your hiney.
Watch your hiney. That is a Mike Marshall ism.
It works.
But yeah, I mean, we just don't want anything bad to happen. So look, just use a little caution. I mean, I think it's, it doesn't look like a lot, but caution never hurts. If you see something falling that's liquid in particular, be ultra careful. Chastity is asking out of Borden, Indiana timing. I'm going to say for around 7 or 8 o'clock in the Borden area. Gracie is asking, Rick, I'll send this one to you. Mm-hmm. If it's freezing rain, does it freeze right as it lands?
Gracie, yes. You'd have to, basically it's freezing on contact sort of scenario. With freezing rain, you have drops. Well, in this case, it may not be snow because we may not have a snow growth zone, but you get liquid that hits and it freezes on contact. Exactly. Now, let's say it's pavement. Pavement, it could sit there, and with the cold surge that moves in overnight, then some of those puddles may have the ability to turn icy and freeze up. but I wouldn't be so concerned with that until the overnight hours, simply because we have a pretty strong southwest wind, and that's a warm wind in our area. And then we flip around and the wind changes direction with the cold air coming in on the backside. So if something was to freeze up, I'd watch out overnight. During the day, it's more that freezing rain, which, yes, it is just going to freeze on contact. That's how we define that, and I hope that answers your question.
Somebody's asking, and Mark, are you in contact with JCPS? So it's a fair question. So I have not spoken to JCPS on this one. And what I have found over the years is it depends on who works the bus compound. So there have been years where I was contacted on every single time there was a chance of precipitation, and there are years where I have not been. What I would say is I'm always willing to help. So I do help some of our Catholic schools here in Louisville. I've helped some of churches around the area. I helped in, again, I try not to call the school system out because I don't want to. Helped several schools out of Indiana on the Tuesday scenario. So yeah, I mean, you know, I have not spoken with JCPS on this one, but obviously if they reached out, we would help. That is what we do. So
okay. I got one lined up for you, Mark.
Okay.
I'll take this one. This one's from Jay Pico on YouTube. Can you remind us and tell us when you all are coming on
This
YouTube?
is a Rick DeLuca question because
it all depends on the weather.
It's a subscribe question.
Yeah, you got to subscribe, and that way you'll get notified. Because here's the thing. The weather runs our lives. It's literally the truth.
We do what Mother Nature tells us to do.
That's how it works. Our schedules, we be front loaded. That's really what it is. I have my wife at home who runs my life there, and then the weather runs my life outside of that. It's the honest truth. If there's something happening that is important, that you should know about, that we want you to be aware of, then you're gonna find us here talking about it. And it's not necessarily just limited to our area. There are times when it's slow, we can expand and talk about storms across the entire country, heck, across the world. But what our goal is to not oversaturate and just flood you with information. Yeah. You open your phone, you get that anyways. I mean, just constant posts. I just feel like it's sometimes like just too much, and you get overloaded and you just want to shut down. So what we want to do is preserve that trust that you have and know that if you see us, something's going on. And that's really kind of how we're going to operate. So I can't give you a specific time, specific date, but trust me, if the weather's going wild, you'll find us here.
So a couple more questions here before we will end this one. Let me go through and see. Here's a question. When would this hit Carrollton? I'm going to say Carrollton, you're a higher impact than Louisville. I would be a little more aware in Carrollton. I would say arrival time could be as early as around 7-ish. I think between 7 and around 2 p.m. would be the most likely time of impact. So I would watch those hours. And I would also say the same thing for you, is that if this warm air starts to surge, it may be able to move this into sleet and then ultimately into some freezing rain. Now, I said this when we had our big storm here. It doesn't matter if this is sleet or freezing rain. It's going to be a high impact event. We said that very specifically, you know, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, big snow. And I'll tell you that tomorrow, even if you get more sleet and freezing rain in Carrollton, it's not going to be a huge amount regardless, but it still can have impacts. And the further you go to the north and east, the more moisture is available, the greater the impact could be. And I think that's important to note. Regardless of your totals on snow, there's still highest impact in our northeast counties. All right, so we'll go with 3 more questions now. Rick, I'll let you choose first and last. So the first is yours, my friend.
Let's see. All right, so now is your time. Start typing, get those questions in.
And if we don't answer your question, we're not ignoring you.
Yeah.
We just don't, we can only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so on the screen at the same time.
Right. I got one from Julie Camfield. Okay. Possible bad road conditions with the first wave for northeast of Louisville.
Okay.
Yes, Julie. If you're northeast of Louisville, absolutely. Especially if you find yourself in one of those snow bursts. Think of that as a winter's version of a summertime thunderstorm. Sub out the rain for snow. Comes down heavy, visibilities go down, the winds start whipping around, and eventually, you know, you can't really see what's happening in front of you. So these are short duration bursts. They don't last more than an hour or so, but inside of those, yes, you could definitely see some temporarily snow-covered roads may melt, and then may cover back up again during the overnight hours. So this is something we're watching very carefully here. But yes, use caution. Watch out. That is definitely a possibility with that first initial wave.
Okay, I'm going to take this question while you load
Okay.
up with the last question. Tiffany is asking about the driving conditions from Frankfurt back to Bullitt County at 5 to 7 p.m. My opinion is this is all gone by then. My opinion is if there is any effect on those roads, it would be vastly improved by that point. I don't think that you're going to have any problems on that drive. And here's the thing, I say this a lot. I've driven in some really bad weather over the years. Just keep speeds down if you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I don't see a high impact in that particular time frame. And Rick, we are going to give you the last question of the evening.
All right, so let's round it out. Chastity asking, so is this a morning snow or is this a tomorrow night snow?
Oh, that's a great question actually to round this out, because
Right?
that is almost in a nutshell what this whole thing's about.
Right. So this is there's two scenarios here which will unfold, two chances. The first one is mainly north and east of the city. Maybe a wintry mix, could even include some light freezing rain in parts of the area. It's tomorrow night that we see that light, pure snow. And Mark has pulled up future radar once again, just to show you the concept here that we'll get those mixed showers, rain, snow, more liquid down to the south and to the west, more snow to the north and to the east. It's in and out of here. It's late morning, early afternoon, but then snow, which would be light, kind of constant, like we saw this past Saturday, comes in with the Arctic surge. So there's two different systems. We get the cold front that comes in during the day Friday, and then the actual surge of Arctic air, which lags behind and follows. So I really want you to know that the two of these won't be the same. One has that mixed potential with it coming in during the morning. Temperatures still not quite above 32. So you could see some slick spots in the form of ice. You could see some slick spots in the form of snow. And then overnight, that's when we go over to pure snow showers, flurries, and just some of that light snow globe snow, as Mark likes to call it.
And one last thing before we end this, I don't know where this is coming from, but a lot of people are asking, I've seen a lot of people say, how severe is the flooding going to be? I don't know where you're getting that information, but what I will say is right now we have abnormally dry conditions. And I think, let me just verify for sure, but I believe the Ohio River is actually running below pool, below normal pool for this time of the year. So let me just look at that. Again, the beauty of having these computers in front of us is it doesn't take us long to get down to the information. So the Ohio River, McAlpin, I'm going to go McAlpin lower and just look at actually, let me go upper, only because I know normal pool. So normal pool is 12 feet. Right now we're sitting at 13 feet. So we're 1 foot above pool. To get to action stage is 21 feet, which would mean the Ohio River would have to rise 7 feet just to get into action stage. I'm not sure if somebody's out there spreading misinformation right now. What we have is basically an inch of liquid that is locked up in the snow, sleet, whatever you have over your area. We have abnormally dry. We don't have an Ohio River that's ultra high. Unless we get heavy rain next week during the melt, the Ohio River can easily handle 1 inch of snow. I mean, easily handle 1 inch of snow without a problem. I'm sorry, 1 inch of liquid out of the snow. So 1 inch of liquid alone will not cause the Ohio River to flood. We get an inch of liquid in a day a lot of times during spring here. So unless you, let's say, add another inch or two of rain, that would then add into that. But there is nothing right now that says that this would end necessarily with flooding. So I thought that was interesting, and I've heard a lot of people ask, so why not address that one? So we are now coming to the end of our Facebook Live. Number one, if we have been able to help you, thank you for joining us. Thumbs up, some hearts across the screen if you guys enjoy the lives. Rick DeLuca will probably make a comment at the end of the video. Head over to his page, click like on his page. We're trying to get him up to 30,000, 20,000 on his page.
30, we're getting close.
30,000 on his page. I want to give him that as a birthday present. His birthday is in 2 months. It's not in 2 months. The whole part was made up, but let's get him over the mark. He's been pushing hard at that.
It's in 4. You're close.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm a maybe.
I know Mia's is in June.
Yeah.
I know that for sure because I remember. And yours is
because yours
is not it. Yours is yours May?
Yeah,
I
May,
thought
right,
so.
yeah, so.
Do you remember mine? What month it is?
January.
Okay.
Is it
When's Jude's?
I don't know actually.
When is
last time
Bryce's?
Bryce isn't in here to tell us.
Oh yeah, he's gonna probably be comment down below.
I don't honestly. All I know is Jude didn't know how old he was last time.
He did it?
I asked him,
No, he said he posted. Do you not see what he posted the other day?
No.
He posted on his page, in my 48 years alive, this may have been the hardest snow I've ever seen. And
Really?
Yeah. So he did.
Okay, the year before, he didn't know how old he was.
It's possible. When you get up that early and drink that much kind of
true.
caffeine, so you can't drink Red Bull anymore.
He comes
Lauren
in with
banned
he
him
gets a big coffee, and then he dumps it with hot cocoa. The concoction he
every
has.
day. I think it's gas station coffee.
Yeah,
too.
and I mean, he's got quite the concoction. Surprised his heart hasn't.
But I worked the morning show for 12 years of my life, and I
He
totally
gets it
understand.
done, and he does it with such elegance and ease.
And
the man he's a legend.
and creativity. So if you guys enjoy the videos, please throw some thumbs up and hearts across the screen. Please share the video with your friends, family. Remember, they can come in after the video ends. They can move the timeline and go any portion that they want to get the information that they need. One reminder, we always appreciate your support on TV. It's important. It's one of the main ways that we make a living. Rick DeLuca will be on WDRB News at 11. I'll be on WDRB News at 10. Obviously, we've given you the data. When we end the videos, what we do is we go back there, bury our head, and we get the last round of data so that we can update you. I'll be doing that at 10, 10:22, 10:37 on two things. Obviously, tomorrow, early on in the day, freezing rain versus sleet versus snow for your area. Accumulations, we'll go through that at 10 and 10:22. And then for tomorrow night, we'll spend some time on that and the warm-up that follows. Rick DeLuca will be able to spend some more time on some of the data as it continues to filter in through the evening. At 11 and 11:17, he'll be updating on, again, snow versus sleet versus freezing rain. Why watch Rick if you watch me at 10? Because he's had a chance to look at even more data. So we're constantly analyzing as we move through this. This is the end of tonight's WDRB Live video. I'm Mark Weinberg. He's Rick DeLuca. We appreciate you guys.